Hey everyone, so today is going to be a story time video. I know there was a lot of those on YouTube like a while ago, and a lot of them were all those like clickbait videos like my Uber driver tried to kidnap me, and in reality he just like drove a block like too far or something. But this is going to be a real story time. It's a really traumatic story. Not really, but it was pretty crazy. I wasn't expecting it to happen at the time. So this story is about when I got my third piercing. So I have 3 earrings. I got these first ones when I was in like 3rd grade, the second ones when I was probably around 16, and then I got my third ones when I was 18. So here's the story. So I wanted to get these third piercings for a while. My parents were kind of, like, why do you want to get more holes in your head, all of that. So I was like, like they're not gonna like take me to go anyway. I was talking to my friend Jackie, and she was like, well, you're 18, so you can just go and get them pierced. You don't have to get your parents to sign off. So I was like, okay, like come with me, like let's go get it done. So we went down to the mall. I got them pierced and everything was great. It didn't really hurt or anything, and I was so happy that I had them, and I was like, oh, I'm 18, I can do things on my own, and this was something that was, not as far as a tattoo, but, it still was something I did on my own without my parents' permission, and kind of just celebrating being 18. We leave the mall, and I drive my friend back home. She lives, out on an outer part of my town, so it's probably around, a 15-minute drive from my house. So on my way back, I'm coming, and we have a really crazy downtown intersection. They actually showed an overview of our downtown at driver's ed, and everyone that wasn't from my town was like, what the heck is that? And then we were like, oh my god, that's our town. So it is really crazy. So there's many different ways to get through downtown, and I have to go through downtown in order to get to my house. So I'm coming on, it's on this hill, but right before the main streets. 3 different ways to go down the hill. So I usually go this one way, and I don't know, for some reason on that day I was like, hey, let's go this other way. Don't know why. So I go down the street and I'm like, okay, we're gonna go to the right instead of to the left this time. So I start going to the right, and I go over the curb, and because it's one of those really sharp curbs that are literally a 90-degree angle. So I go over that, and I'm like, uh-oh, and I hear a pop, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, okay, it's fine, I just hit it hard. So I start going down the hill right towards the main road, and all of a sudden, the car starts dipping a little bit, and then I look to the dashboard, and the dashboard there's a thing saying low tire pressure, low tire pressure. So I'm like, oh my god, I probably just maybe got a little pop, I don't know what to do. And so I start driving more, and so I go through the main intersection, and I'm on the main road going back to my house, middle of town, and the sound my tire was making was absolutely horrible. It was flapping like this, it was hitting the ground, it was going around, I knew something went horrible. So I'm still at this point maybe 4 or 5 minutes away from home. So I pick up my phone. This hand sanitizer is gonna be like my phone. So I pick up my phone and I call home, and I'm like, I think I popped the tire, I don't know what to do, and so my dad on the other end's like, okay, just calm down, just pull over. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna pull over, I'm so close to home, I'm gonna keep going. And he's like, pull over, you can't drive on that. And I go, and at this point I'm panicking, and I'm like, I'm by the train station, I'm so close to home, I'm just gonna drive home. And he keeps telling me, pull over. And as a side note, if this ever happens to you, pull over, please pull over, because I was stupid. And so I'm on the phone, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. At this point I'm starting to cry, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening, I'm just gonna drive home. And at this point, the tire sounds horrible. It is just, I don't even know how I made it back. The low tire pressure thing is flashing, my tire's just going like that, and I'm sideways. Ugh. it was horrible because I think it was my front right tire that was messed up. So not a good thing. So I'm like, okay, I'm almost home. And so then I pull into the driveway and I'm like, I'm here, like come out. And so my dad comes out and I'm like getting out of the car and I'm just like crying. And see, the thing is though, I wasn't crying necessarily because the tire, like that was traumatic. I was so upset that this happened right when I got my piercing done because I was so scared of my dad being upset that I got a piercing and about his tire that I was just bawling. And I was planning on keeping my piercing a secret, you know, for as long as possible until like they noticed it and be like, oh, haha, I got a piercing, whatever. But no, like this was like the end. Like I thought this was the end. So as my dad's like checking out the tire, which by the way was like burning rubber, and oh, the entire tire was shredded, like absolutely shredded, because I drove on it for 5 minutes. Like you're not supposed to do that, so pull over if that ever happens to you. But I didn't, so the entire tire was shredded. It was like burning rubber, so gross. Like, so anyways, we went to go check it out and I run into the house and I'm like crying to my mom. She's like, don't be upset, like what, like it's not that big of a deal. And I go, I know, but look what I just got. And I show her my piercing and I'm like, I'm so like sorry, like I don't know why this happened. Like, oh, I was so upset because I got my piercing and this happened at the same time. So I told my mom. She was like, it's okay, like whatever, like I won't tell Dad. And so everything ended up fine with the tire, but I never told my dad about the piercing, and he actually did not notice I got the piercing until 2 months later. And we're sitting at the dining table, and I guess I'm like twisting it because sometimes I like to play with my earrings, and I'm like sitting there and I'm just like this at the dining room table, and he's like, did you get a third one? And I was like, no. But at that point, like I told him, and I think I told him that I got it the day that the tire blew out, but at least enough time went by and he was like, that's fine, you know, he understood. But that was such a traumatic day. I was so, what was the worst part was I was so excited that I went and did something on my own, like for my 18th birthday, and then disaster struck. Like absolutely, like I wasn't an adult anymore. I was literally like a little child out being like, I don't know what to do, I'm just driving home. Like it was bad. So that is my story time of the time I got my third piercing. It was pretty crazy. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this was kind of entertaining and a life lesson that if you ever pop your tire, stop driving, pull over, call someone for help, or replace a tire if you know how to do it, because don't let it burn and get totally wrecked, because that's not safe to drive on. So thank you so much for listening, and if you like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you have any ideas of what I should do in my future videos, and I will see you next time.